And joining me now is Terry King, candidate for the sheriff. Terry, thanks for coming in.
You're very welcome. It's an honor to be here.
So how long have you been in law enforcement, and how long have you been in Alpena County, excuse me?
Well, I have 26 years experience in northern Michigan in law enforcement, 4 years in Alpena County, and obviously 22 years here in Alpena County, 14 and a half years of which is the undersheriff.
And with that experience, what would you say the current state of the sheriff's department is right now?
Well, I am a firm believer in our current sheriff's office, the employees, all the employees. We have a good system here, and I believe in them. I truly do. We need to make a couple changes, and that's on education, training, and that's something that we've always talked about, but it never comes to fruition. We do have training, but we need to expand on that training. And I have addressed that with my various TK Tuesday vlogs, and as far as crisis intervention training and ethnic intimidation, along those lines. But that is something that we can address once again once I get into office.
Mm-hmm. And this has been a pretty heated race so far, and I know there was a bit of a heated exchange between you and Kalashevsky at the League of Women Voters panel a few weeks ago, where he looked at you and told you that you let him down. So what would your response to that? I know you didn't get a chance during the panel.
Yeah, unfortunately, the League of Women Voters is a very good opportunity to express yourself, but it doesn't really give you a chance to rebuttal. And that was something that I definitely would rebuttal. I have never let him down. I have never lied to him. And that is something that I'm disappointed in him, as he's probably disappointed in me because of the allegations taking place. These are false allegations. He's never sat down and talked with me. He's never given me an opportunity to explain nothing. He's just taken the word of somebody else and adios, Terry King, and that's unfortunate. I had his back for so many years. I backed him, supported him in every decision, and for him to treat me in this fashion without any talking to whatsoever is unfortunate. And that's just the way it goes. That's the way life is, I guess.
So would it be fair to say that you feel a little betrayed?
Oh, very much so betrayed by a man who I trusted also, who I looked at as a brother. It goes both ways, very much so.
And now we're going to just move back to the election, and I know you touched on it a little bit. What are some improvements that you think you could make to the sheriff's office if you get elected?
I firmly believe that I will get elected. I have the community support, and I truly believe that. And I would like to make a few changes. Nothing drastic right away, over a period of time. I mentioned the training previously, but I think is very much needed. But I would also like to establish a crime services unit or a crime victim services unit where people can express to that board their concerns with anything going on with law enforcement, how they were treated, how they were talked to, the complaints that they may have, or something that they have seen, within our community. That board needs to be established. They need to have teeth, and that's something that we would have to work on, because ultimately it's going to be the sheriff or the chief of police that would have the ultimate say what actions are taken against that officer. But these actions could be documented, and that will follow that officer if we happen to have a bad officer, and I'm not saying we do. But this is something that we need to do to protect our officers here at Northern Michigan.
For sure, and there is lots of talk across the country about police reform, and would you say that's something we need here in Alpena? Is that what you're talking about?
We do need a reform. Unfortunately, I don't want to get to a point where our officers can't do anything until someone does something. We're now reactive instead of proactive, and I'm very fearful of that. We're going to get somebody hurt, we're going to get somebody injured, especially a law enforcement officer, and I hate seeing that. That is something that I don't agree with. And I fear that it's becoming that way. If you are standing there going to throw an object through someone's business window, and I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs and I can't do anything until you actually physically do something, that's wrong. And that's what I'm fearful of.
Both Republicans, both long-term career in law enforcement. What would you say separates you from Kieliszewski?
My volunteerism. That's big. I have volunteered my time within my community my entire adult life. And I'm not saying he's not, but mine stands out. I belong to several service clubs in town, various boards, and I continue to volunteer my time as with my wife. And we believe in those communities or those organizations for our community, and that's something I will continue to do so. And that is something that I truly believe in. I volunteer my time in various, anything dealing with kids. Of course, I'm a game sports official, high school official. Yes, sometimes I do get paid, but there's a lot of times I volunteer my time, and that's what I believe in, anything especially dealing with our kids.
Absolutely. And one thing Kalashevsky mentioned is that he thinks that he is able to build better relationships, and he wasn't sure how the allegations against you would fare when trying to build these relationships with other departments. How would you respond to that?
Well, again, they're allegations, and I hope that they would understand that and realize that they're just allegations. Nothing has been proven. Nothing has come to fruition. Nothing has been proven one way whatsoever. And this is something that, yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for me, I'm sure, because people are going to believe what they want to believe. They're only going to read what they want to believe. And unfortunately, that's always going to be a battle for you, for me, whoever, if we're ever in a situation like that. But I'm willing to go through it. I'm willing to work with people. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. I have proven myself for 22 years working within the community, working within the sheriff's office, have been a great guy, supportive of the employees, back the employees, work within the community, worked with the DARE program, taught kids. Wonderful guy. And then I decided to run for office, that I'm this evil, hateful person. And it's not right. And I think the community, the people of Alpena County know what I'm about, and they know what I stand for.
Mm-hmm. And now it is almost voting day. So what, if you had a final message that you'd want to give to the voters, what would you say?
As your next sheriff, I am not going to sit behind my desk. I'm going to continue to volunteer my time within my community. I'm going to lead by an example. I'm going to continue to volunteer my time to the various groups that I belong to, that I believe into, the boards, and I will still complete my duties as sheriff. I do have goals, I do have plans. Any good leader is going to. I have talked about my goals and my plans in various segments of my TK Tuesdays. And I'm going to continue. I would like to continue with my TK Tuesday vlogs. I would like to, just to continue to communicate with our citizens, to let them know what's going on. I'm going to be approachable. I'm going to be open-minded to their suggestions and ideas. I will return phone calls, emails. I would like the public to know that this is not an I position. It's not an I job. The sheriff can only do so much without the public's help or assistance. This sheriff's position is a we position, a we job. And as your next sheriff of Alpena County, I need the public's help and assistance. This past year and a half has been very stressful on our community and my family. But I'm very honored, I'm very pleased with my committee members at my request that they have taken the high road. Alpena is an absolutely wonderful place to be, to live, and I will do everything I can to keep it that way. With the citizens, the voters, with their continued support, with their help, with their guidance, and their vote for Terry King for sheriff, we will make this a wonderful place to live.
All right. Thanks very much for that,
You
Mr.
bet.
King. And thanks for coming in and joining us, and we'll see you on August 4th.
Very good. Thanks, sir.